Good morning, everyone. Ben Fighter here, and I have something different and very special for you. I call it a prophetic flyby visionary prayer on current events. And the title of this video is The Throne and the Ice Pick Agents, Part 1. Okay, subtitle Ice Pick Agents Arrested at Stoplight by God Squad Police. Okay, people, hang on. We're going to cover a lot of ground in this prophetic flyby visionary prayer. And don't get stuck or confused by the various geographical zones, drastic and dire situations we'll be covering. Stay loose and keep moving with the flow of this exciting but terrible true to life analogy. Subtitle Arrest of the Ice Pick Agents. 3 vehicles with unidentified ice pick agents are speeding down a busy street on their way to a low-income business trip where they plan to round up all suspicious-looking people, Latino and otherwise. Caught at the stoplight, the 3 vehicles come to a screeching halt. Come on! Come on! The first driver impatiently yells at the traffic lights. Suddenly, a white car pulls up next to the ice pick agents. The driver of the white car gets out and walks to their vehicle. Dressed in an impeccable white uniform, he tells the driver to lower his window. The ice pick person yells, "What the hell?" and opens his window. "We're on official business. Get out of the way, you jerk. You're obstructing the law." Unfazed, the man in white stands his ground. "May I see your driver's license and ID, please?" "Shit, I don't have time for this," the agent spat out and stepped on the gas. The car didn't budge. The engine died. Opening his door, he said, "Okay, now you're going to get it." As Agent Max got out of his car, he noticed the emblem on the side of the white car. It read, "God Squad Police." The tall man in white pushed Max back in the car and asked again, "Where is your ID, sir? And also the rest of you in the car? Show me your IDs." Max glared at the man through his window. "F you! We don't need IDs. We're authorized by the highest authority in the country." "Where are you going now?" Max was fuming. "We're on the way to arrest a lot of dangerous criminals, and we're going to arrest you too. You look like a criminal." The tall man said, "I'm not a criminal," and pointed to his name badge. "I'm Officer Gabriel." "So, do you have a probable cause to believe these people that you want to arrest are dangerous criminals? Do you have a reason to believe they have committed a crime? Do you have any facts or circumstances that would justify you making an arrest?" "That's enough of this bullshit." Max grabbed his riot stick and pushed hard to open his door. On his feet, he swung hard at the tall man, aiming to strike the head. But the man in white blocked the blow and in one swift move pushed Max over the hood and handcuffed him. All of the ice pick agents from the other vehicles were also arrested, handcuffed, and ushered into God Squad police cars. Max, still furious, yelled, "You can't arrest us. You don't have a warrant for our arrest." "We do now," Officer Gabriel said, pulling out a legal arrest warrant from his onboard fax machine. "You stupid son of a... You can't do this!" cried Kilmer, one of the ice pick agents sitting behind the wire mesh protection. "You don't even have any charges against us." Gabriel turned toward Kilmer and said, "Both of you have been charged with abducting people off the streets, using force and violence while carrying a weapon. Max yelled back, "We were making a lawful arrest." "You showed no ID. You were masked and no name tag and driving an unmarked vehicle. So you're being charged with unlawful taking of people against their will, using brute force and deception, all of which constitutes kidnapping and assault and battery." "But that's not all," Gabriel continued. "You've also been charged with inhumane treatment of all the people that you took by force and confined to locked buildings for long periods of time with no beds, no access to a lawyer or family members, gave them unedible food, sometimes containing maggots, and no blankets for cold nights, sleeping only on cold concrete floors." "You lying bastard! You don't know what you're talking about," yelled Kilmer. Subtitle: You have the right to remain silent. "Careful what you say," cautioned Officer Gabriel. "You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you don't have an attorney, one will be appointed to you." Laughing, Max said, "Ha! You sound so ridiculously official. And what court of law do you think could possibly judge us?" Officer Gabriel gave him a sober look and said, "The court of the great white throne judgment." Subtitle: High Sky Correctional Center. Arriving at the High Sky Correctional Center and stepping out of the white vehicle, Max noticed that there were other God Squad police cars arriving at the same time. He counted at least 100 ice pick agents who'd also been arrested. All were escorted by tall men in white to a two-story structure. They were lined up and made to walk orderly to the entrance of the building. To the right and to the left, Max could see several more large buildings, detention housing, he assumed. As he observed more details, he was surprised that none of the men in white were armed with any kind of weapon. Just then, he saw two of the ice pick agents making a run for it. They commandeered a white van in the parking lot and peeled rubber as they sped away, heading for the main exit. Near the gate, the van screeched to a stop. It seemed the vehicle was embedded with an escape-proof device that would make all unauthorized vehicles stop before they could get through the gate. Subtitle: The strange men were endowed with supernatural powers. A man in white walked to the stolen van and asked the agents to step out. Immediately they jumped out, one armed with a lug wrench, and he swung at the man in white. The wrench, aimed at the face, froze in midair, only inches from the man's face. The escapees were swiftly handcuffed and walked back to the camp. Max and Kilmer, who saw the action from afar, understood now why these people did not need weapons. It seemed the strange men were equipped with supernatural powers. It was impossible to overpower them or hurt them or escape from them. Inside the building, Max claimed the first bed he saw, situated next to a large window with a nice view of trees and grass. Hey, not bad, he thought. The bed had clean sheets, a blanket, and a pillow. He was surprised to see his name, Max, on a plaque at the front of the bed. That evening, all of the detainees enjoyed a hot meal at the mess hall. The menu featured meatloaf with mashed potatoes and green beans, bread, and clean water. And all were surprised to see a bowl of fruit being served for dessert. Max, Max felt a twinge of guilt when he thought of the terrible containment conditions and lousy food they gave the immigrants that they'd arrested in comparison to the nice food and bedding he was now experiencing. But the feeling was short lived. What the hell? I'm getting big bucks for what I'm doing, and those immigrant scum, they don't deserve anything. The ice pick agents were delighted with the delicious meal, but grumbled when they discovered they would have to wash their own dishes. Suddenly, the intercom speakers came on. Lights out will be at 10 p.m. Get as much rest as you can. Tomorrow is a 6 a.m. wake up, and everyone will be able to meet with the legal counsel you've been assigned. You've all been charged with several crimes, so you'll need to know what your options are before you go to the great white throne for judgment and to hear your final sentence. And lastly, you will have opportunity to make a phone call. In parentheses, Revelation 20, verses 11, 12, and 13. Subtitle: Max and Kilmer's Midnight Conversation. In the middle of the night, Kilmer pulled off his sheet and crawled over to Max's bed. Hey, hey man, I'm worried. I can't sleep. I keep thinking about what that guy said about that great white throne judgment. Hey, don't worry, Max said, feeling irritated that he'd been woken up in the middle of the night. That's all a bunch of BS. I'll be calling the director of operations tomorrow when I get my phone call, and they'll come and get us out. They'll come and get us out of here in no time. And these clowns in white are going to be in big trouble. Kilmer continued. You know, that great white throne judgment, it's not made up. I read about it one time in the Bible. It scares me, man. We're doing a lot of bad shit, and at the end of things, and make no mistake about it, we're going to be judged in that throne room of God. The jailhouse in the afterlife is a damn bad place. I don't want to go there. And if these guys in white are angels, which they must be, look how they manhandled us and handcuffed us, and we're about the toughest, meanest dudes anywhere in this country. But they overpowered us like we were weak women. Max spit on the floor and said, Okay, what are you trying to say? What I'm saying is that if God sent these angels to stop us from the bad things we were about to do today to those poor people, and things that we've been doing all these weeks in making these hard arrests on people that aren't even criminals, then maybe he's trying to warn us that we're doing wrong, man, really wrong stuff. So I don't know about you, but if I ever get out of here, I'm going to go back to my wife and kids, and I'm going to be good to them, and maybe start helping people, maybe helping at soup lines. Shit, I don't know. I just want to be a different person. Hey, look at you, going softy on me, huh? Okay, you do what you want, dude. You have your life, and I have mine. Now don't wake me up with any more of your tear jerker stories. Max turned over and covered his head with the blanket. All that night he kept tossing and turning. He couldn't sleep, thinking about everything his friend had said. Maybe he's right, he thought. Maybe tomorrow I'll ask him to tell me more about the Bible and about angels. He let out a long sigh. That night, Max had a long, restful sleep. Okay, and we're going to stop there. And in a little bit, we'll continue with part two of this story, of this prophetic prayer. And part two, the first title will be Swamp Snake Detention Center. See you in a little bit.